Yeah, outro.
Finish these.
Okay, Chuck.
I like to drink a Zach, cause Zach is my friend. I like to drink a Zach, cause he gets it down in 10, 9, 8, 7. No.
I didn't know what was going on there, and it was intimidating. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the 1000 Proof Marketing Happy Hour podcast, where we give you a pint size of marketing knowledge in 15 minutes or less, or so we hope. Today's topic is a really fun one. We have Lilly, our marketing intern. She researched some Reddit questions, some common ones, and Madison and I are going to answer them. To celebrate Reddit questions, we thought we'd bring you a red cocktail, or slightly pinkish. So this is an Aperol Spritz. If you exist on social media at all for the past 5 years, you know what an Aperol Spritz is. But it is just a really great Italian summer spritzer. It's real simple: 3 ounces of champagne, 2 ounces of Aperol, and then 1 ounce of soda water, built in that order, over ice, and some orange slices in there, and it's just a real easy slipper. It's a real easy slipper. It's a real easy sipper. Perfect for answering weird questions from the internet.
Okay, I have this one for Madison. What's the best way to approach social media marketing when starting from zero?
Ooh, this is a good question because I am actually working with a friend right now who just started a nonprofit, and we are starting from scratch, no logo, no branding, no website, nothing. So hopefully if you're starting your social media journey, you'll have your logos and things. If not, that's okay. You can develop those along the way, and you can even change them down the line too. But I would say definitely look into who you think is your target audience, and then figure out what platforms those people are on. So say, for example, if you are selling or providing services for nails, don't look at my nails because they don't look very good. But say you're someone who is selling either press-on nails or you provide nail services, your target audience is more than likely going to be women or feminine presenting, and also typically among the younger to midlife generation. I would say probably around 16 to, I don't know, say 35, 40. So you're going to look at that information. You're going to look at age, gender, and then other demographics like their income levels, and then you can actually use an AI tool to plug in all of that information, and you can look up like which platforms have these people on them the most, and I would definitely focus on those platforms first. And then you just create your profile. You can test out a few things with posting, you can test with videos, static posts, photos, stories, and just see what works best for you. And then once you kind of get all of that information and you start collecting like, hey, videos perform really well for us, then you can start moving into a more solidified strategy where you'll be like, we're gonna post 3 videos a week, and it's going to be Monday manicures, or something like on Wednesdays you do like more intricate designs and you post videos about that. So it's really about finding out who you're trying to reach and then finding those platforms that are going to reach those people.
What would you say is the most effective way to boost your social media engagement, especially like without using paid ads?
So organic social. So for boosting organic social, analytics is going to be your best friend because that's going to tell you what is working and what's not working. And to kind of boost your impressions, your followers, things like that, you're going to want to commit to posting more of the content that does perform well. We do a lot of organic social with a lot of our clients. We rely pretty heavily on organic, and we've done a great job over the last, I want to say, year and a half of really digging and figuring out what works best for our clients' audiences, and really, improved the impressions and views and the amount of people we're reaching and follower growth. So I think it does come down to looking at the analytics, which is free. If you use Facebook or Instagram, you can go to their Analytics Insights tool on Business Meta Suite. LinkedIn also offers analytic tracking in platform, but I would say it's not super great. Just gonna be honest. I would not look at the LinkedIn analytics. If you have the ability to, I would look into a free tool like Buffer. It's kind of like your HubSpot or your Sprout Social, but it's free and you can connect all your profiles, and they actually do a an analytic report and insights for you, and it actually offers you more insights than the actual platforms do. So really focus on the content that is performing well and just kind of stick with that.
So it sounds like really it's a testing ground for organic. Like,
Yeah.
put a bunch out there. Don't be upset if things aren't working, but really pay attention for the ones that are working and then double down. I feel like a lot of people that we work with have this idea of what they want social media to be, and they're like, nope, this is what we're going to do no matter what. And even if the numbers are saying this isn't performing, they're just going to stick to it, and they're sitting there asking these questions on Reddit. How do I boost organic? Look at the content that's working and then double down.
And it can feel kind of like when you're cooking, you have to throw spaghetti at the wall to see if it's fully cooked or not. You just got to kind of throw it and see what sticks.
I usually just taste it.
Well, not everyone, knows how to
Taste noodles?
call it almost like a crapshoot where you got to test all of these things, and it can feel like you have no idea what you're doing and you're just doing all of these different things. And like you said, a lot of times what you think is going to work or what you would want to see as a consumer is not what your audience actually wants to see. So it is important to trust the analytics. Analytics are your best friend.
For B2B services like us, what have you seen work best early on to build trust and get the first paying customers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most neglected, but the best thing you can do is really get clear on your message and strategic foundation. So when you're looking at a message, you want to know who your audience is and position them as a hero, what their problem is that you are solving, and then why you're the person to help solve the problem for them. That should be kind of like your sound bites that are the foundation for your entire marketing. So in B2B, your competition isn't your biggest, I suppose, villain. It's actually confusion. So in this whole world, it's not about who has the best product or the best services. It really is about who communicates the clearest. So once you lay that foundation, you have a vision with that strategy, and you know where you're going, you really set this clear path that your audience can go upon and build trust. And as you're seeing them get that immediate return on investment, they're walking down the path to you, to your services. Then you layer on other marketing, your newsletters or emails, your video, and then that is you walking them down that path even quicker. So I'd say that's really it. Make sure you are doing stuff with intent and you have a reason for it and keeping it consistent.
Yeah, and a great way, especially when you're starting out, to kind of test what messaging works for you is doing A/B testing. So what you'll do is you'll have, essentially the same post in every aspect when you're starting out. It'll be the same image, same caption. The call to action might just be different, or your soundbite might be different. Testing out things like that will show you which message is reaching more people or grabbing more people's attention or converting more. So that's really important, especially in the beginning if you're just starting out.
I would also add one more thing to that. As part of that message and your communication, make sure that there's a specific place for people to go to and what to do with it. So you might, build that trust, but if you're not telling them where to go and what to do for a specific thing, you're not going to see a lot of that immediate return.
Next one I have is from Madison. Why is my content getting traffic but no conversions?
Yeah, so actually what's surprising for a lot of people to hear is that content that gets a lot of engagement or a lot of reach is typically entertaining content. People like to watch it, they like to read it, they give it a like and they scroll. They're like, haha, that was so funny. Next, and then they go get their fix somewhere else. A lot of times with content that actually leads to conversions is the content that doesn't necessarily get as much engagement because people are actually reading through the caption or reading the information or taking it in, and then instead of liking, which does drive impressions and tells the algorithm to push your content to more people, instead of engaging, they'll actually click on the link that you have provided in there and it'll take them to the next steps leading to those conversions. So you might not see those vanity metrics of the likes, comments, and just overall views. You will be like, why is this content flopping, but I'm getting like 30 leads from it? That's why a lot of the times the longer form videos that don't get as much of the likes, the comments, the interactions do convert. Same with posts that have a lot of information about the products and services that drive people to your website or that next step. They aren't going to like and engage with it. So that's a lot of times why content likes and other engagement and KPIs don't necessarily match up with conversions.
I'd also add to that don't get disheartened if you're not seeing a lot of that engagement up front, because that awareness and those vanity metrics are great for early on in your funnel. Scientifically and statistically, people need to see something 7, 8, I'd even argue like 20 plus times now to do it. And so many times people will get disheartened and they'll like pull out of an initiative right before they're about to find that conversion. Like that awareness stage is the longest part of your stage for your funnel. And so many times people invest in the land and they pull out before they actually build a house.
So the last one I have is for Zach. And then how do you diversify client acquisition other than referrals?
Ooh, this one kind of hits close to home. Transparently, this was something that we were very fortunate for 1,000 Lumens, where we just had referrals and word of mouth that really provided the majority of our business and stability for 5, 6, 7 years. When we really decided to scale, we realized that there is a 6, 7 years. When we realized that we wanted to scale, referrals we know just weren't enough to be sustainable. That doesn't mean, continue to provide great services and do things for a reason and provide that care that will generate those referrals, because that's how you maintain sustainability. But really, it's about establishing yourself again as a guide to help solve your audience's problems and show up everywhere. Like, invest in marketing, buy that land, build that path, show up on newsletters, on videos, emails, podcasts, things like that, and keep doing it. It builds upon itself, so the longer you do it, the more powerful it gets, and it grows and it builds. And the beauty of all of that is that's doing work for you. So your videos, your assets, they're working while you're sleeping. And so people get to know you and again, get to see you 7, 8, 9, 20 times. And then when it comes time to engage, they're more inclined and ready to interact and go with you, I suppose. It's a relationship building, just like if you're dating. If you're not putting yourself on dating apps, you're not going to networking events, and you're just staying in, no one's going to know who you are. And if you aren't genuinely interested in that person or helping them solve their problems, you're never actually going to build that relationship. But again, relationship building takes time.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lily, for digging up those Reddit questions. We hope you guys got some information from this episode. We also have a Substack where we put out a lot of information, and we do have some free downloadable resources. We have a marketing funnel scorecard that'll kind of walk you through where you are, where your gaps are, and things you can possibly do to improve those, as well as a social media audit checklist that'll walk you through your social media and things you can improve there. You can find a lot of those on our LinkedIn and our website. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.